Alright, so we are back with the next episode of our tutorial series, and in this episode we're going to be, as I said in our discussion thing on YouTube yesterday, we are going to be creating some animals, and I've done some playing around over the last 2 days, and we're just going to be doing some basic stuff for now, and we will improve on that, which I've done in time. We'll improve on that as the series goes on. So these are our animals, as you can see, are just basic low poly cows, and they do nothing right now. They literally do nothing. The only thing they do is if you hit them 4 times they disappear. That's just a simple damage thing that we done at the other episode, which I'll show you in a sec. That's where we're going to go. So what I've done is I've created a blueprint for this animal, which you can just create an active blueprint. I put that as the cow, and this is our script. So this is our basic set health thing. If health is equal to 0, it destroys the actor. So some basic stuff right there. Okay, so what we want to do is we want our cow to jump, just simple jumping for now, just to jump up and down. And how do we do this? Well, we can use a thing called the impulse kind of thing, and you just type in impulse and impulse cow B, and the impulse is just a burst of energy. Okay, so we're going to bring this up here next to our event tick, and this event tick is going to tick every time, every millisecond or whatever frames per second it is set at. I don't actually know, but we want to slow this down. We don't want it to constantly go up into the air. We want it to jump. So we're going to set this to about 2 seconds. And once this is completed, it will come into our impulse node. And the impulse will be simply on this Z, we're just going to type 300. So every 2 seconds, this impulse is going to go. Make sure this is checked, otherwise it will not change the velocity. It will just change this and then go back to normal. So we'll exit out of that, see what happens. So as you can see, our animals are jumping up and down, which is cool. So what we want to do now is go back into here and make sure that if we click on this static mesh, that simulate physics is on and the mass is 20. Otherwise it will not work because there will be no gravity or anything. I've locked the rotation so it doesn't move, and I've locked the y-axis because we're going to be using the x and z positions later on in the series. I've made a physics material. If I get rid of this, I'm not sure this is very necessary, so I don't know if I'll have to show you that. No, so the physics material isn't very necessary. It's just some extra things. Now, if I hit the thing 4 times, it dies, and eventually it will drop meat, which we will do in a later video. So what we want it to do is we want our head to flash every time we hit so we know we've hit the cow. And we will use a UI for the health later on, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do that in our UI episode, which will be pretty soon. So what we want to do is we want to set the material, delay it, and set the material again, which we have right here from our other third-person thing. But what we want to do is make our cow jump away a little bit, and this is just like a hit response kind of thing. It's not very, interesting. But what we can do is we can cast to our third-person character. So if we cast to our third-person character, let's just get the player character. Get player character. Simple things, right? You should know what these are by now. If you don't, just go back to the first episode and it teaches you there. So what we can do is we can come out as our third-person character and get the forward vector. So we can get the forward vector of the actor, and we can return the value, and we can times it by 1,000 because the forward vector is between 1 and 0. We don't want that, because otherwise it would be pretty small, velocity change, or change in velocity. Okay, so now we've got that, we are going to move this to the side, and we're going to add another impulse. So impulse to the cow B, and our impulse is going to be our forward vector times 1,000. We're going to put velocity change, target is cow B, or the name of this up here, and that looks pretty good. It's pretty good to me. So now we've got that, we can just hook this in, set the material to cow B to that, set the material cow B to that. And if we come out here and go into here, we have a cow right here, boom, our cow jolts forward and it has a red head, which is pretty cool. Look at that. Boom, boom, gone, dead, boom, boom, boom. It's actually quite addictive, you know. Boom, and now it's gone. And we can obviously break the trees. So we've got 10 wood at the bottom right, and that is cool. Cool. So that is our movement for our jump and our response to our cow. Next episode, we are going to be doing the UI health for the cow, and that is when the cow will have a UI on top of its head, and it will say the cow's health. I hope you guys did enjoy, and make sure to subscribe.